Equations and graphs. Essential question. How can you translate between equations and graphs? The solution of an equation in two variables is an ordered pair that makes the equation true. For example, 2, 5 is the solution of the equation y equals x plus 3, because 5 equals 2 plus 3. A linear equation is an equation whose solution form a straight line on a coordinate plane. Any point on the line is a solution of the equation. Unlock the problem. A blue whale is swimming at an average rate of 3 miles per hour. Write a linear equation that gives the distance y in miles that the whales swim in x hours. Then graph the relationship. Write and graph a linear equation. Write an equation for the relationship. Time, distance is going to be y. And it tells you that in your problem. X is going to stand for hours, y is miles. So distance is y because miles would be a distance. Rate is time, so hours would be the amount of time, so equals 3. Y equals 3, and then you're going to multiply. This is also, you can't even see it, but they had a dot, which is also another way to put a multiplication sign. So time would be x. Y equals 3 times x. Step 2. Find ordered pairs that are solutions of the equation. Choose several values of x and find the corresponding of y. So when x is 1, you plug in x for the equation. So the equation is y equals 3x. Y equals 3, and then when x is 1, you take x out and substitute 1 in its place. So y would be equal to 3. And so they have 3 here. And they put the x next to y, x, y, to make it a coordinate, or an ordered pair to put on a coordinate plane. So let's do the next one. So we're going to use the same y equals 3x as the equation, and we're going to substitute 2 for x. Y equals 3 times 2, which is y equals 6. So when x is 2, y is 6. X equals 3. Y equals 3x, so y equals 3 times 3, which is 9. So when x is 3, y is 9. Alright. Okay, so we're going to put 6 with 2 here. So 2 and 6, and then we're going to put 3, comma, 9. Alright, so now we're going to plug in 4 for x. So y equals 3 times 4, which is y equals 12. So when x is 4, y is 12. So 4x goes in for x, 12 goes in for y. So 4 and 12. Now we're going to graph these items. So let's look at the ordered pairs. The first one is 1, 3. So we go over on the x-axis first for 1. So we go over 1. And then we go up 3. Okay, they have that one graphed. Now we need to do 2, 6. We go over 2, up 6. And we graph that. Now we go over 3, up 3. Should be 9, so 9 would be right in between 8 and 10. And then we go over 4 and up 12. So, which is right here. And to know that linear equations, you've graphed them correctly, they should be in a line. Okay, so think about the word linear. It's written like this. It has the word line inside of it. It needs to be in a straight line to know that you've graphed it correctly. I forgot to put up here to begin with, what formula can you use to help write your equation? So distance, so d equals r times t. Distance equals rate times, okay, turn page. Example 1. The graph shows the number of beaded necklaces Y that Ginger can make in X hours. Write the linear equation for the relationship shown by the graph. Step 1. Use ordered pairs from the graph to complete the tables of values below. Step 2. Look for a pattern in the tables. So, we need to look at this graph, and the first point that they have graphed is 0, 0. Okay, right there. Highlighted actually instead of circling. Okay, so they have 0, 0, and then if you see here, they put those on the table. So you look from your graph, and then you take those numbers out of your graph and put them on your table. So when y is 0, x is 0. Now let's look at the second one. So 1, 2 is the ordered pair. 1 is x, 2 is in y. Okay, now let's look at the third one. 3 and 6, and then 4 and 8. There's the fourth one. When 3 is in x's place, what is in y's place? Well, it's 6. And then the last one is 4 and 8. Okay, so then now we need to look for the relationship between x and y. So we multiply by 0 and 1 and 3. So what do we do each time? Each y value is the 2 times the corresponding x value. So 0 times 2 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, that's how we get from x to y. That's the value. So the linear equation for the relationship is y equals 2x. So 2 times x. Explain how to graph a linear equation. Explain how to graph a linear equation. Substitute the values of x into the equation to find the corresponding value of y. Write the xy pairs and then graph. Number 2. Describe a situation in which it would be more useful to represent a relationship with an equation than a graph. So an equation can be used to find the value of the dependent variable for any value of the independent variable. Share and show. Graph the linear equation. Graph y equals x minus 2. So when x is 2, we're going to plug that in. Y equals 2 minus 2. So y would equal 0. Okay? Got that one already. Y equals 4 minus 2. So y equals 2. Okay, and then if you continue that, you would get 4 and then 6. You're just plugging these numbers in this equation for x to get the answer for y for your second number in your ordered pair. So now let's graph these. So your ordered pair would be x, comma y, which would be 2, comma 0 for the first one. So go over 2, up 0. That would be right on the line. And then you go over 4, up 2, over 6, up 4, over 8, up 6. And those are in a straight line, so you connect those with a straight line. They're in a line, so they are linear, so it's a linear equation. Okay, and now moving on to number 2 in share and show. Y equals x, 3x. So every time you have x, you're going to multiply it by 3. So y equals 3x. Okay? And we have to choose our own numbers here, because this does not... Well, you know what? They're asking us to use the same table. So let's use the same table. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase these. We're going to use the same table for number 2. So we're going to do y equals 3 times x. X is 2. So y equals 6. Okay. I'm just going to make my own table. It's going to be easier. So look at this table. I'm going to make my own y and x. So let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4. So when x is 1, we're going to plug 1 in for x. So 3 times 1 is 3. So 1 is to 3. And then we're going to plug in the next one, which is 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 2 is to 6. 3 is to 9. 4 is to 12. The relationship is multiplying by 3 every time, which is here. So we're going to graph those. 1 is to 3, so we go over 1 up 3. Oops. So go ahead and graph that one. And then 2 is to 6, go over 2, up 6. Graph that one. Go over 3, up 9. Graph that one. And then 4, over 4, up 12. So then that one's more of a steep line. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But as long as it's linear, it's in a straight line, you know that you're doing it correctly. Okay. Number 3 is write a linear equation for the relationship shown by the graph.